Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Harrismas. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Today we are going to talk about 15 of the worst makeup products I tried in 2021. So if you want to hear me roast some makeup, then just keep watching. If you aren't new to my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on my channel. I've been posting every day since December 1. So if you've missed out on the content, I do have a Harrismas playlist that I would suggest that you enjoy. And without further blubbering, let's get into it. Okay, I'm excited for this because let's be real, everybody loves a good product roasting. And my first product that I want to mention, I'm going to just insert pictures because some of these products I've already thrown in like declutter piles and things like that. And I just don't have the energy to dig them out. So the first product is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation, and this is a $40 foundation. So I love NARS. It's one of my favorite high-end brands. I love their Sheer Glow foundation. My foundation drawer just happens to be here, so I love the Sheer Glow. This was like my first like high-end foundation. Such a good color match for me. I wore that foundation on my wedding day, so NARS foundation just has a really special place in my heart. And so when they launched the new Soft Matte Complete foundation, I was like, yes, let me try that, let me grab it. And I did end up getting it, and basically this one didn't work out for me because it's a full coverage matte foundation, which again, I love full coverage. I can usually handle matte foundations, like the Huda foundation used to be my favorite. I love the Fenty foundation, the matte foundation. So I really thought I would like this one as well. But honestly, I did not enjoy this foundation. I think my preferences for foundations have changed, which is why I didn't like this foundation. It is just too matte for me. I know my friend Heather Austin has very oily skin and she loves this foundation. It's one of her favorites. She has like multiple backups of it. And so I think I'm going to send her mine because I tried it. I even saved it in my declutter video and put it into purgatory, and I tried it a few times and it just makes my skin feel really dry and like very desert-like. So that is why it's on my worst makeup 2021 list. Okay, another foundation that is on my worst makeup list is the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. Now, this one has one of my favorite words from 2021, skin tints. I never thought I would be a skin tint person, and now I have so many skin tints. I love the Beauty Blender skin tint. I love my Kosas face oil. I have a bunch of skin tints that I really love. And so I thought I would really like this one. Plus I like the Fenty Beauty Matte Foundation, like I said previously. So this one is $29.50, and it says it's a lightweight, buildable, light to medium coverage skin tint that leaves skin looking blurred and smooth in flexible shades for all. So I was very excited for this. Again, it just didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I did feel like it was hydrating my face. I felt like the coverage was very meh. Like, I feel like I like how things don't look perfected with skin tints, but you still get like a very nice smoothing effect with most of the skin tints I love. So this one was just such a flop for me. I really regret buying it. I know a lot of my friends love this Fenty skin tint, but it is not for me. And yeah, I really regret purchasing it. Next is one that I am so upset with. This mascara is gonna haunt me forever, specifically because it's not a cheap mascara, and I usually never buy expensive mascaras. I'm such a drugstore mascara girl, and so I bought this full price with full confidence that I was gonna love it, and I ended up really not liking this. This is the Melt Supernatural Lash Mascara for $24, and this one claims it's ultra black. It coats lashes in an intense black pigment, plant-based fibers, and it's volumizing and lengthening. I can definitely see how this could volumize your lashes, but my problem with this is it gets everywhere. Like, I don't know if my lashes are just too small for this particular brush, but I always end up poking myself with it, and I feel like the formula is a little bit too thick for me, so I prefer a more watery mascara just so I can like coat my lashes a few times with it. I struggled so much with that mascara. I almost contemplated returning it, and then I felt like I had had it for too long, so I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep it and put it in my worst makeup video, but oh my goodness, did not like that mascara at all. The next thing that is on my list is the Sour Patch and Morphe eyeshadow palette. So I talked about this a little bit in my video where I roasted the collaborations of 2021. I talked about how I was so excited that a brand was collabing with sour candy. I feel like chocolate and ice cream always get the collabs. But anyway, I was excited when I saw that somebody was collabing with something I really enjoyed, like sour candy. So I jumped on it. I grabbed the palette and the spray. The palette concept was really cute and everything, but the quality just wasn't there for me. So I deeply regret purchasing that palette, and it left a sour taste in my mouth, honestly. Okay, the next palette I'm going to talk about is the Menagerie Indigo Ink palette. And this one is not because the quality is bad, but honestly, this color story was just very confusing for me. And I feel like a lot of you feel the same way. I noticed that on Menagerie's website, anytime they have a restock, everything sells out but the Indigo palette. I think a lot of people are very confused by the color story. I even think the color story is pretty. It's just that, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's a difficult color story to master. I know I have a few friends that own the palette that have done multiple looks with the palette and they make it look gorgeous. But for me, it was a bit of a struggle, and at Menagerie's price point, it is a lot of money to pay for something that I'm not going to use very often, or I'm a little bit like more like apprehensive when it comes to using it. So that's why I'm including it in this video. The next palette I want to talk about is the Clarity Cosmetics Magic Lamp palette. Now, the reason that I'm talking about this as one of the worst palettes for me is because it did come with a broken shade, and the shade got on all of the other eyeshadows, and I did misspeak in my video on this palette, so I just want to set the record straight. I had reached out to Clarity and they had gotten back to me. I just didn't realize that they had gotten back to me that same night when I had emailed them about the shade coming broken. So I just want to mention that to you guys, because I had said in the video that I hadn't heard back from them, and it wasn't true. I had heard back from them. Either which way, they offered to send me a replacement of the shade that was broken. And honestly, the shade is kind of mixed in with the other shade, so I don't know what having the broken shade will do, because I feel like the whole palette is kind of contaminated at this point. Honestly, I don't care, because I bought the palette with my own money and I think it's a beautiful palette. I like the look I created with it, but I don't want to go through the hassle of them sending me a shade and me trying to sort through it. And the palette works fine for me. I'm just saying that that experience of it coming broken, having all of the shadow everywhere, and then having some of the shimmers just not be as strong as I was hoping they would be, made it onto the worst makeup of 2021 list. So that is that on that. And then the next palette I want to talk about is the Moonspell palette by Lunar Beauty. This is the Moonspell 2, and I really didn't like this palette. I was expecting so much more from the quality that I'm used to with Lunar Beauty. Usually I think his eyeshadows are very, very creamy, and I didn't feel that way with this palette. I think that this one was the palette that kind of had the most divided opinions on my channel this past year. Some of you really loved it. Some of you agreed with me and said, like, nope, I can definitely feel a difference in the formula. A lot of you were upset with how kind of mid-tone the colors were. He didn't really give us those like dark matte shades that would have been really, really awesome with this palette. So I think that the packaging was beautiful, but I feel like for what I expect from Manny and Lunar Beauty, I didn't get that same quality. So that is why it's on this list. The next palette, I got a lot of palettes. Okay, so the next palette is the Dojo Cat palette from BH Cosmetics. And this one is because I can definitely tell the quality is different in this palette. I don't know where this was made compared to like their holiday palette. That is excellent. Their birthstone palettes, I just did a look with 3 of them on my channel, and those were excellent. But the Dojo Cat, the mattes, I can definitely tell there's a difference, and same with the metallics. I feel like the quality was very, very different. Kind of reminds me of the BH quality before they like blew up and became like amazing for the price point that they sell at. The Doja Cat one definitely reminded me of the old BH, and I did not appreciate that, so that is why it's on this list. Okay, the next product that is on this list is the Desi Mask. It's the newest product from Desi Skin, and so I was very curious to try the brand. There wasn't anything from her that I was really dying to try until she came out with this like hydrating overnight mask thing. I forgot the name of the product, and I'm too lazy to look it up right now. But anyway, I bought it, and it actually ended up going to my old address. And so when I was at the hospital being induced for like 5 days, it got delivered to our old address, and I am in contact with the owner of the old address. So they actually let us pick it up. So Rail went and picked it up and bought it to me in the hospital. So I was testing it out in the hospital, and honestly, I wasn't impressed because the hospital, very drying place. You know, you need lip balm. It's cold. The delivery rooms are, you know, not the most comfortable. And I was in a delivery room for like 3 days. So I was able to try out the mask, and honestly, I didn't feel like it provided any extra hydration for me. So I was pretty disappointed in it. I feel the same way about the Summer Fridays jet lag mask. I know so many people love that mask, and I feel like it doesn't do anything extra. Like, why would you pay a premium price for a mask that's supposed to give you like extra hydration when it does the same job as my Honey Halo moisturizer from pharmacy? So for that reason, I am including the Desi mask on this list. I guess I said the video was called Worst Makeup, but I think I should just call it the worst products of 2021. So sorry about that confusion. The next thing is another skincare product. Well, it's like a lip care product. It's the Laneige Peppermint Mask. So I had also talked about this in another video, and somebody actually agreed with me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one, because the Laneige skincare masks are so hype. They're nice, but they're definitely not life-changing to me. I feel like the Fresh Sugar lip balms are way more hydrating for me, and I live in a very, very cold climate, so chapped lips are just part of my winter skincare situations. And I was excited for them to do a peppermint mask. I thought, oh my gosh, like that's such a fun way to get in the holiday spirit. I bought it, and I swear I have like a permanently chapped section of my lip, and I think it started with that Laneige lip sleeping mask because I applied it and it did not hydrate my lips, and then I had like a little dry spot, and I love to pick my lips. So satisfying. So I've been picking that spot for like over a month now. I know I'm embarrassing, but I'm trying really hard to stop so that I don't have like a patch on my lips every time I film without lip product on. But oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't get the hype with the lip sleeping masks, honestly. And once I'm done using up the ones I have in my collection, I'm going to personally write myself a memo that I must never, ever, ever, ever buy any Laneige lip sleeping mask because they're not worth the hype in my opinion. Okay, so the next product is a palette, and this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Universal Face Palette in Universe Unlocked, and this is an $80 palette. Everybody lost their minds because they did 2 different shades finally, and everyone was like, yes, they finally made a palette that's going to be women of color friendly instead of doing just a one standard palette. I was excited. I believe I grabbed Universe Unlocked. It hasn't even been that long and I cannot remember. But when I got this palette, it really just wasn't deep enough for me. And I just felt like the shades were just not flattering for my skin tone. I've seen Hourglass do better blush shades, better highlighter shades, better bronze shades. I have individual products from Hourglass that were way better than the ones they included in this palette. So I ended up decluttering this palette because oh, it was so not good. Like the bronzer didn't show up on me. I think the highlighter was like too dark, and then the 2 blush shades are so basic that I was like, nope. So I would rather have my beautiful Hourglass, is it called Hours After Hours? It's the beautiful like burgundy blush that they came out with last year, or I think in 2019, that I love. And I'd rather just have that than have like piles of Hourglass palettes. So yeah, I'm really hoping they do better in 2022 if they decide to do another palette, because I feel like their palettes are so controversial. So I really hope that they learned their lesson with this palette, because it was really disappointing, especially with an $80 price tag. Like, that is wild. Okay, the next thing I wanted to include in the worst products of 2021 is the Shantikai powder, the face blurring powder, whatever the heck that is. Again, so much hype on YouTube. I know my friend Teresa is dead, loves that freaking powder. She is like the poster child for Shantikai powder. And they launched it because I guess it was limited edition, and they launched it in this beautiful packaging, I think sometime in the spring or summer. Listen, I do like to buy bougie things every once in a while. I'm definitely not like a luxury makeup channel, but I decided to splurge because I had a Nordstrom note. So I used my little $10 off Nordstrom note, bought myself the Shantikai powder, and once I got it, I was like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. It's not blurring anything. I don't understand. I just don't feel like that powder is for me. I'm also not a powder person in general. I do set my under eyes, but the rest of my face I usually leave alone because I have dry skin. So my foundations tend to stay put. So I really just need to tell myself again, like, no powders, like use the ones you have. So I've been diligently working on trying to make some headway with this powder. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Infinity powder. So yeah, my goal is to try and like pan some of the powders I already own before I buy any more. I've had a lot of experiences with trying to go on no buys and low buys. So I never say that I'm not gonna buy something, but I really just need to not buy any powders in the next couple of months, because I have so many and I would just love to use some of them up. So anyway, Shantikai's powder, to me, totally overhyped. Not a fan. I think save your money. There's way better powders out there for way less money, in my humble opinion. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm feeling like I'm going to get roasted because this brand is so beloved. So the Forever Mood candle. I was so excited because, first of all, in 2021, my city, my little podunk town, got a full-size Sephora store, which is a big deal. We now have Pat McGrath, Utopian Dreams sitting in our Sephora store. I like literally shit my pants. The Melt Holiday collection was in there, the eyeshadow palette and the blush palette, and I was about ready to pass out because what? Like, I never thought that would happen. So I got invited to go to the store opening, and I was walking around because I basically already order everything online anyway. So there wasn't a lot that I wanted, but I did see the Forever Mood display and I was like, okay, now's the time. Let me drop $40 on a freaking candle. So I bought one and I was so excited. I came home, waited until we moved into this house, and I burnt it. And I was so excited. I asked Rail his thoughts. He was like, nope, not a fan of the scent. I was like, okay, whatever, fine. But I don't know if it's this house. I don't know if it's our ventilation system. I don't know what's what, but the soot from the candle got on everything that was white and plastic. So it's on Freya's like changing table mat. It's on like these ice cube holders that I bought to put my breast milk supply in. Like, it got on everything white, and it was like a really icky, like oily black soot. And it even traveled from upstairs to downstairs. I don't know how. It got on like our bathtub downstairs. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm done with candles, and I'm definitely done with Forever Mood. So yeah, that's my experience with Forever Mood. I just don't want to spend that much money on a candle and have that kind of experience. So I don't know if it's a house thing. I really don't. I tried to ask people about it. Nobody had experienced that, but that's what I experienced. So for that reason, it made it onto the worst products of 2021 for me. So the next two I actually talked about in my forgotten about makeup releases of 2021. that should be coming up maybe next, or if it's up already, you guys have probably already heard me say this, but number 14 is my Gucci eyeshadow palette. Oh my gosh, the palette itself, the packaging, beautiful, 10 out of 10, gorgeous, stunning, we love it so, so much. But, but, other than that, there was nothing redeeming about this palette. The packaging is super bulky, so on the inside, there's all this unused paste. The color story was meh. In everybody else's defense, I should have known better than to buy the Gucci eyeshadow palette because I could see what the color story was. So if I didn't like the color story, I should have probably told myself no. But also, I love Gucci as a fashion brand. I can't really afford much Gucci, so I decided to kind of pacify myself with the eyeshadow palette instead. There's a Gucci bag I really want. It's not like overly expensive, but I already got my push present, and so my husband's like, no more designer bags for you. So yeah, I can't buy it. I'm trying to save up for it with my YouTube money, but we'll see, because it's gonna take a few AdSense checks to get it. But anyway, the lesson I learned is don't buy Gucci makeup just because you want a Gucci bag but you can't afford it, so you decided to buy the makeup instead. Also, can we take a second to talk about this? I just saw this on the Sephora website and I chuckled so hard because Gucci launched nail decals. 20 bucks to have the word Gucci on your fingernails. Like, do you think that's gonna sell well, or do you think it's gonna sit there and rot? Personally, I think it's gonna sell out because people love to kind of exude that vibe that they can afford luxury goods even if they can't. And again, I'm guilty of this too. I want a Gucci bag, but I bought the Gucci eyeshadow palette instead because I can't afford the bag right now. So anyway, that's a whole nother video topic for another day. But the palette was beautiful. I'm happy I bought it, but the eyeshadows, very meh. I could see somebody that loves that luxury experience really enjoying the eyeshadows. They're not bad eyeshadows. It's just that if you guys have been following me for a while, you know what kind of eyeshadows I like. I like really opaque metallics and really buttery, blendable mattes. So neither of those things were available in that palette. They were just very light, airy, fairy eyeshadows, which you can also get for way less money. So that is my soapbox. I'm gonna get off of my soapbox now. And then the last product I wanted to mention was the KVD Vegan Beauty Liquid Blushes. Again, I talked about this in my forgotten about releases, I think, because I genuinely forgot about these blushes, but I did buy one because I was curious. I really liked the shade, and I think I had an Ulta coupon, so I was like, why not? So I bought it, and there is a video. I filmed a video where I was trying new makeup releases at Ulta, and I swear to God, I took this blush and I blended it onto my cheek, and I was like, where did it go? I was like, what the frick? And so I decluttered that blush because what is the point? I have so many beautiful cream blushes that I do not need to hold on to something that is basically just going to give me like a wet cheek look but no pigmentation. So yeah, I decluttered that blush, and that is why it's on my worst products of 2021 list. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me chatting about some of the worst products I've tried in 2021. You guys know I want to hear what your worst products, whether it's 1, 5, 10, 200. Let me know your worst products of 2021 down in the comments. You guys know I love chatting to you there. I hope you guys are enjoying Harrismas. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in another video tomorrow. Bye!